Today we will go to check out the new peptide hype. I don't know if it's worth it or not. We will see what these guys will tell us.
Looked into at all? Like these growth hormone secretagogues and things like that. What are your thoughts? I know that there's not a ton of human data, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, a
very
lot of
little.
people are experimenting with them for enhanced recovery and the like.
So a lot of them work. The secretagogues are dope, and they probably increase your growth hormone production marginally and pretty significantly. I live in a really strange world where I deal with predominantly two types of people. People who are drug-free and have no interest in reconstituting vials and shooting them into anything. And people who are in the world of pro sports, especially pro bodybuilding, that like, if it can be injected, I'm doing it. There's just no compunction to try to go some middle of the road kind of stuff. So because of that, I don't deal with people who use a lot of peptides, because I either deal with people that are like peptides, like, bro, I'm not a criminal. And you're like, okay, fine, let's do this with creatine and whey protein, which is great. Or very few real serious bodybuilders do a whole lot of indexing on peptides. Now, some of them, like BPC 157, for example, are amazing if you want to heal from an injury rapidly. But you got to.
Oh, so I also heard a lot of things from peptides that are they're increasing the hormone production, they improve the recovery of muscles, the regeneration of the human body, things like that. And I also heard that it's very good for the recovery in general, for all the things in the human body, depends on where you want to recover or improve your body. So you have to look on the specific peptide you want to choose because there are different ones. I heard that there are so many peptides because it's like a form of amino acids that are like in a chain form. For example, 3, 4, 5 amino acids together. So they build like a chain, and that's called a peptide. And now you have to look which you want to use and choose for which type you want to improve yourself, in which area of your body you want to start with this thing.
Hurt for that sort of thing. And usually it just doesn't do a whole lot if you just use it all the time. But for real high level athletes that are using drugs, secretagogues work, peptides work. But if you have pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, it's like Godzilla and all the other shit is rats. Like boom, giant footprint, just it erases everything. You get you some Serostim from EMD Serrano, and it just crushes all comers. And if you're on pharmaceutical grade growth hormone at the right doses, someone's like, "What do you think of peptides?" You're just like, "Watch this, walk out of my face, flex the muscle at them, and they just disappear." That's the difference. And so, to me, the peptides thing falls into. There's a lot of use cases for peptides that are great. I don't want to disparage them. But some of the stuff that you could be doing with kind of real drugs, like growth hormone versus the secretagogues, to me is a similar conversation about SARMs. Have you heard about SARMs?
No.
Selective androgen receptor modulators. They're these drugs that were designed in the 90s that people had a lot of hope would give you the anabolic muscle growth effects of steroids, but without any of the androgenic kind of side effects of steroids. And it turns out that they just didn't do that.
I don't understand why he's comparing peptides to drugs because I think if you take this amino acid chains, I think this is not more than this. This is not a drug, this is just biological thing to me, in my opinion, because sure, it feels weird to inject it. I also wouldn't inject it. I haven't tried it before, but I heard a lot of good stuff from peptides, and I would not compare it to drugs, but I have not so much experience with this. I have to test it in the future. So in the future, you will also see a video of this. And also, why I'm wearing this ring. This is like a tracker from FitOrb. This will also come in a few days or a week or two. So you will see what this ring do to me and what it does to you if you wear it. Let's go on with the video.
If you take the recommended doses, you get almost nothing. If you take high doses to get the real results, you also get the shitty stuff. And so SARMs kind of failed. But SARMs have this unique appeal to especially teenagers and especially people who are on the periphery of being drug-free but being curious about drugs. Bi-curious, I call it. Is that what that is? And they're like, I want enhancement. I want to get jacked. But I don't want to do steroids because in my health class they said they were going to kill you and you're going to have pimples in your eyes and all that shit. So like, what about SARMs? And the reality, like SARMs and many kinds of peptides, though not all, fall into that camp of like they do stuff, but if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. And if you're going to do drugs, do real drugs. They're well studied much more than these things. They have raw, gnarly main effects and an agglomeration of side effects that we know what they are and we know how to deal with them relatively well. So there are great use cases for peptides, but when someone is just like, actually similarly to how you asked me in this question, though in a different context, like, what do you think of peptides? You weren't asking like, should I start using them now? Usually that's how you kind of get it. And it's like, this thing isn't sort of what you think it is. There are tools for the job that are better. I'm going to make another terrible analogy that gun people are probably going to be like, this is wrong, it's stupid, there's no place for this. There's a use case for a pistol, it's very well demonstrated. Then there are use cases for, the term escapes me at the moment, is exactly what it is, AR platforms. Carbines or rifles that have good scope, good length of barrel, everything's super stable. And then there's like something called a submachine gun, like a Tommy gun, like, 1920s type of shit, or like, an MP5, something shorter. It can put a rate of rounds down on target that's quite high, but the rounds aren't very big, they don't do a ton of damage, and the accuracy is limited and the range is limited. And so for actual operators and elite military forces, they carry a sidearm pistol, they have their main AR platform, and they just don't do that intermediate step. Because you're like, what do you think of the MP5? And they're just going to be like, it's a cool gun to use in movies like The Matrix. It definitely has use cases if you're personal security for someone high level, but you have to have a concealed automatic firearm that has to fit into your suit coat, and you can't just have an AR barrel sticking out. There you go. But as far as most battlefield scenarios, it's either the pistol, it's either the AR. And in some similar sense, you either drug-free, or you get into the shit that we know works as real drugs. That middle ground, you just won't find a lot of times what you're looking for.
Okay, that's a crazy example with guns. But I get it, that the use case of some sorts of machine guns, he's comparing this to steroids and drugs things. Funny, but also, not a bad example. Sure, you can use another example, but he used this. So, I would say depends on what you want to use, what you want to get from this peptides. You can use it. I will test some peptides in the future, and I will also do some research from people, for people in the topic of peptides. So you will learn about this more in this channel, and you will get more information about the use case from this specific peptide or this specific peptide, so you can use it for yourself. And this was just a short reaction. I wanted to look at first at a video to look what they talk about, what's the topic, peptides in general. So you will get it in the next video, some more detailed things about this. Thank you for your time.